and I mean black, who has never had a criminal record in his country, who has never been questioned by the police, decides to go in search of greener pastures. And soon as he lands, he is handcuffed and dragged away like a criminal and put into a prison called an asylum seekers camp. Despite Al Jazeera's program, Al Jazeera would never be allowed to go into such a camp and film it. You think if it was good, they would have filmed, they wouldn't allow them to film it? In fact, there was also a Gambia government mission that went somewhere, and they were not allowed to go and visit the camp where some Gambians were, in Europe. And this is in an EU member country. So you have a choice. If you think that we are mad enough to accept 500 to destroy $2,000, then you are not going to be in this government. Let me make it very clear. So you have a choice. You either work for the Gambian people or work for them. And for you to work for them, you have to leave this country or leave this government, because we cannot be paid by Gambian taxpayers for you to work against their interests or undermine this government. I don't care what the long and short-term interest is going to be. A friendship should not be based on conditions. The only conditions that would be acceptable is for the friend to tell you, I pray 5 times a day, or I go to church every day, and I fear the Almighty Allah, I do good things. If you want to be my friend, follow my footsteps. That is genuine, that is acceptable. That's the only condition that is acceptable. I think one of you was present when I think 2 of you, when I was talking to the foreign minister about the so-called dialogue with the European Union. And it is called dialogue. When Gambia voted in support of the dialogue under the aegis of ACPEU, that ACP should have dialogue with the European Union, so-called political dialogue. We voted understanding the definition of dialogue, that we would discuss issues of mutual interest. If we had known that the dialogue they are talking about is not a dialogue but a lecture, we were not going to sign for it. After all, nobody is feeding us except the Almighty Allah. And I will say it again. And that's why I allow the press to be here. I'm not going to mince my words. I'm not afraid of what I'm talking about. Now, it seems that all the dialogue with the European Union is about them telling us what we should do, one accusation after the other. If that is the dialogue, it ends today. That's not a dialogue. We will not be lectured. After all, what are they going to give us? They're going to give us oxygen, or they're going to prolong our lives? It's only God who can give you what only God decides how you live, not the European Union. As a sovereign state, this country's laws will not be amended because the European Union wanted, because we are not a colony of either the European Union or any other international body. So, I looked at a minute that was sent to me yesterday. And I will read the minute to you. Your Excellency, Vice Secretary General. Sir, on behalf of the office, I attended the preparatory meeting of relevant sectors of government of the Gambia and GOTG, that's Government of the Gambia, EU, Article 8 Political Dialogue on Friday, 4th January at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Your Excellency, the issues raised by the EU for discussion during the dialogue, slated for the 11th of January 2013, are as follows. 1. Commitment of GOTG to allow the free operation of independent media in the Gambia. 2. Commitment to who? How many radio stations do we have even at community level? And it's the government of the Gambia that is issuing licenses. Before 1994, there were only 2 private radio stations, Radio Seed and Radio 1 FM. In fact, Radio 1 FM came in the latter part of the 90s. Today, how many radio stations do we have? And pre-1994, I could remember of only 2 newspapers, 3, I think. The Point, The Observer, and The Nation. And then the one by government, that was not anyway an independent newspaper. Today, how many newspapers do we have in this country? To the extent that even foreigners have their own newspapers. So what commitment do the European Union want from us? And what type of allowance are they talking about for the free operation of independent media in the Gambia? And what do they mean by independent media? In most countries in Europe, if you deny the Holocaust, you go to jail. They made it a criminal offense. But if you deny slavery, they clap for you. No newspaper in Europe can publish 2 articles consecutively on the Holocaust without the editor being arrested. Why are they doing that? No newspaper in Europe also will write articles supporting the jihad and the editor is not put in jail. Why? Because they think that's a threat to their national security. But here we are not saying, there's no law that says you cannot say this or that. The law says you'll be accountable and be responsible for what you say. If what you say offends somebody, you can take it to a court of law. That is what a civilized society is all about. So whatever they are alluding to with regards to allow free operation of the independent media, that is unacceptable. It's not even up for discussion. Nobody would tell us what laws we should have in this country. Then 2, removal of restrictive barriers, monetary/regulatory. And in fact, they are giving us a deadline. Nobody gives me deadlines. For the first item, within 1 month, Gambia government's commitment to the free operation of independent media in the Gambia. What do they want the media to publish? That is not being published now. Maybe they will clarify what they mean by free operation of independent media. Some of the media houses don't even pay taxes regularly. We've never harassed them. So how is it possible that the media is not free?